Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. People have been accused of various crimes and have stood trial since the beginning of our nation's founding. However, the 1990s appeared to be when true crime really began to capture the nation's attention like never before. There was gavel-to-gavel coverage of such high-profile criminal cases as those involving Amy Fisher, William Kennedy Smith, Scott Peterson, Lyle and Eric Menendez, and O.J. Simpson. Another trial from that era involved Pamela Smart, a 22-year-old married media consultant at a New Hampshire high school. One evening, as her husband, Gregory Smart, arrived home from work, he was unalived in the foyer of their townhome. The case at first was unsolved. Who would want to do harm to this young man? Then, later in 1990, Pamela Smart was arrested at the high school where she worked as a media consultant and accused of being the mastermind who ordered the unaliving of her husband. As shocking as that was, what truly seemed to capture the nation's attention was that Smart was having an affair with her 15-year-old student and convinced him and his friends to hide and to ambush Greg on that Monday evening. Ms. Smart has consistently denied any wrongdoing with respect to the unaliving of Greg Smart. She stood trial in 1991 and was convicted as an accomplice in the 1990 unaliving of Gregory Smart. She has been serving out her sentence, life without the possibility of parole, at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility in New York. She was back in the news this past week, having filed a petition for habeas corpus. She's looking to get her conviction set aside. The government has filed a motion to dismiss, arguing that she has raised issues in this petition for habeas corpus many times before. They've been rejected, or she could have raised them and elected not to. The crux of her argument, according to defense counsel, is that the government improperly had transcripts of recordings that a teenage girl, another of Smart's students who was not accused of having any participation in the crime, wore, per the defense, words that did not appear to be heard in those voice recordings in transcripts, alleging that the recordings themselves are largely inaudible, or they were subjectively interpreted in these transcripts. There was a hearing that took place on the petition for habeas corpus this past week in a New Hampshire courtroom. Judge James Kennedy heard argument from both sides. He did not render a ruling. However, he said he would take the matter under advisement and with a decision in writing expected within 30 to 60 days. So at this point in time, the question is, will Pamela Smart obtain the evidentiary hearing that she is seeking in her petition, or will the matter be thrown out? Stay tuned. We will provide you an update as they arise. Until next time, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.